Hello, guys. Welcome to Jay's podcast, episode 2. And I have a very special guest with me right now.
Yes.
Introduce yourself.
I'm Tavia, aka Muse, aka Ta, whichever you prefer. I'm from Brooklyn, New York. I currently live in Georgia, and I am like a pro scholar, I would like to say, a techie. Right now, I am in grad school to become a therapist, so a clinical psychologist, and I graduated from Clark Atlanta University with my computer science degree.
Yes, sir.
Just out here trying to do great things. I currently have an organization called Black Seed Alliance. And it's a tribe for Black men and women. And basically, it's just a safe space to receive the help that you need with professional resources, any healing you need to do, mental, emotional, and they're like-minded and like-hearted people. So right now, I'm just trying to, work on myself so that I can set a great example and like connect with people that are doing some amazing things that just not found yet.
Yeah.
Thank you for having me.
Of course. For those who don't know, this is my cousin, my blood. She's like my sister, basically. I'm my sister. But I'm gonna ask you, like, how did you come up with the name for Black Seed? Like, what encouraged you to, like, what inspired you to be like, yo, I want to name it Black Seed? Like,
really me. Like, I'm Black Seed. Like, I'm a Black seed. Just how I think of a seed is just it's planted underground, right? And it takes time, it takes nutrients, it takes sunlight. So for me to get where I am today, like, it took a lot. It took a lot of support from my community. It took a lot of hard work. It took a lot of tears and learning and mistakes. And Black Seed is just, I feel like we're all Black Seeds. We're all seeds with our own story, with our own shape, with our own colors. Like the tribe, we're ultimately a garden, a diverse garden. So Black Seed is just my way of telling my story and giving other people a chance to tell theirs.
Yes, we all have a story. We definitely all have a story, and what's crazy about that, I love the seed concept because that's what it is. Like, life is really about planting seeds and like giving it time and space to grow. But we could also plant bad seeds, right? Like, we could plant some, because we're gonna get deep, y'all. And what's so crazy about this episode is like, that's what it represents right now. Like, just the depth of like just who you are as a person. And we're gonna get into self-love, like the real self-love, like not just, getting in there, like looking the part, looking like that does play a part in it. And definitely be on top of your hygiene. You feel me? You look good, you feel good. But it's really internal, like it's really, really internal work. So, and it's not easy. It's not easy. Like, it's not for the weak. And I feel like, as a human, that's our purpose. You feel me? At the end of the day, like, I feel like we do all have a purpose on this earth, but most of it is to grow. So I love the seed concept. I love that because let's just make sure you grow in the right seeds, okay? Because you could have listen.
Linda.
Listen, okay? Like, make sure your seeds is a good seed. But we're going to get into the first question I have. When did you first become self-aware?
2020. 2020
okay.
was, I actively made the decision to be the best version of myself. But before I could get there, I had to shed and soul search and reflect and learn how to do it because it wasn't something that was taught. So,
Right.
Yeah, that I made the decision to become the best version of myself no matter what it took. And I just remember the process being brutal. Beautiful process, but it's a you versus you process. So really soul search. You're good, you're bad, you're ugly. What's you, what's not you. But like I said, before I even got there, 2020 was when I actively made the decision, because I just felt like I'm here, but I'm not alive. Like I'm just going with the wind. So I really wanted to redefine my truth. So that's when I made the decision to like self-love, self-reflect,
Okay. Yeah, for me, I would say when I really started looking at myself was when I was 20. I'm 23 now, but when I was 20, that's when I first like really was like, oh shoot, like I play a lot in situations. Like I stepped out of victim mode, and it's still a process. Like that's one thing I'm learning too. Like self-love is still a process. Like you're going to every day, like every fucking day, bro. Like you're gonna, it's not, and where I got wrong with, like when I started being self-aware and like, oh shoot, like I actually play a lot into things, you know what I mean? Because like you said, you can go through life and just go through the motions, not really, you know, and that's a part of growing up too. Like we're really in our early adulthood now, so shit is just opening up. Like it's like different fucking body. You like, what the fuck is that? What's that? Like I didn't know about that. Like crazy.
Right. Yeah.
But yeah, when I first became self-aware, I'm gonna say my mom pushed me to that, because she was the one to tell me like, listen, like you have to take accountability, like, and really take accountability, hold your, and it set me free in a way, because I was it was like a light bulb went out, like, oh shit, like it's just like it made me really really focus on me, like, and not just the good part of me, but also the things I need to work on. But I'm gonna get into that too, because I feel like it's a way you.
I was like, yeah, let's keep going. But
listen, like it's a way you go about it too. So I just think our relationships with ourselves is so interesting, and it's the most important relationship. Like we're gonna have that relationship literally until we die. Like it's just so crazy to me. Like even when I interact with people, I'm like, yo, I could never be outside my body, like type shit. Like you ever think like that? Like like yo, like I could never, like you can, like how you see me right now, I can't see myself like that. All I see is a reflection of myself. Like that shit is wild. I don't know, that shit is wild to me. But but do you think like it was painful at first when you first became self-aware?
Yeah, absolutely. Like it's just, I think when you make the decision to become self-aware, and then you actively make decisions to become self-aware, you really don't know what you're digging up. You don't know. So your faith and your, like, you really have to be anchored in what you want. And at that time, I just knew that decision was
time.
It was just gonna come with a lot, because I was about to enter a new version of myself. So the pain really came from shedding everything that I knew to step into something that I didn't know, but I knew was the right thing for me.
Right.
And the second, I guess the other side of the painful part is, I mean, outside of myself, is the relationships that I have with other people. And to the best of my ability, I tried to express, what the process is and what I was going through. But self-awareness, rule number one, is a individual journey.
Yes.
So, around you, it is not it's not, you are really relying on your own spirit, your own mind, your own thoughts, and you're accountable for your own everything. So even though I had people around me and was trying to receive help on my journey, or involve people in my journey, it clash because the journey requires you to separate
Yes.
who you are. So yeah, painful. But I knew it was something I had to do.
I love that. And I love what you just said though, when like you said that it's like you become intentional now. Like you're not just doing shit just to do it. Like it's like when I feel like when you, that's why I said it's a light bulb, because it's like being in the dark and then a light fucking turns on and you're like, oh shit, it's mad shit in the room.
That's the thing. When you with you shining your light, you have to understand that it's exposing not only your darkness but all darkness.
Woo!
So while you're becoming self-aware, it is very conducive to be around other people who are becoming self-aware as well. About being self-aware, because if you are in a space where you're shining your light, you're growing, and you're expanding, the space that you're around, your environment, and the people around you have to expand too.
Yeah.
It's like your energy becomes too big for certain rooms. Your conversation becomes too in-depth for certain individuals to even comprehend. So these things, again, it's a hard process because you don't learn these things until they actually take place.
Yeah, and it's like you kind of just jumping in too. Like you're never super prepared.
I just felt like, and it sounds crazy, like, okay, one day you just woke up, and it's not like that. I've always worked on myself, and I was actively working towards my best version of myself. But 2020 was when I became aware of what I was doing and understanding that I was about to enter another level.
Yeah. And you do feel it. You feel it like in your spirit.
I remember my life feeling like I was on a train that was going so fast, and I just wanted to hop off for like 10 seconds, like let me off, because it self-awareness. I think when it's your time, it's your time. It's something that you can control. It's your time. Like, so you either curl up and put your tail between your legs and fold, or you stand 10 toes and you face yourself at all costs, and at all loss.
Absolutely.
So yeah.
Absolutely. I think this is
so real. Like, it's so real.
It is. And I saw this video with this rapper. Her name is Princess Nokia, I think. But she has, it's a very popular video. Like, she basically was talking about that. Like, when you really get deep with yourself and realize like your relationship with yourself is like very important, like that, you feel me? Like, she was just like, I'm not at the same parties, I'm not talking to the same people like I used to, I'm isolated. Like, and even me, like, you know, I just moved, we always talk, but I just moved to Jersey. For those who don't know, like, I moved to Jersey in October. But I know like 2 or 3 people out here, but it's like I am in such a different space now. Like, the people that, you know, I love, or, you know, my friendships or whatever, they're not as convenient as it was before. So it definitely, I love what you said. Like, sometimes it could be your circumstances that forces you into that. Sometimes it could be a relationship. Sometimes it could be just something you learn about yourself and you want to get deeper into it. So it's all types of different ways where like you can just dive into yourself. Like, you literally have no choice, like you said, like, because you're in your body, like you're in your thoughts, your mind, your emotions. Like, you have to see. And what I love about just having a relationship with yourself is that like you dive into those different parts of you. Like, you're not just one dimensional. Like, we all have, we have our mental, we have our emotional part of us, we have our spiritual part of us. Like, tap into them seeds. Like, tap into them seeds. But I got my next question. What are some, and this is a question I asked Instagram, but it says, what are some of the easiest things to love about yourself, and what are the hardest? So you can start with whichever one.
Oh, that's a great question. Some of the hardest things to love about myself. is really hard. I'm really tenacious, and I push myself super hard, and I feel like it interferes with my self-care routine. So I'm very ambitious, and people say this all the time, like, oh my gosh, like all the stuff you have and the job and how far you've come in school, and yeah, it's amazing, it's a blessing, but I'm working on finding the balance between overworking myself and having a healthy personal and professional balance. You know what I'm It's like a two-edged sword. Like, my hard work helps me to get and maintains me where I am, but it can also, me overworking myself, I can lose everything because my health is not my mind is so drained and fried that, you know, I'm depressed, or I'm having anxiety, or so I have that balance is so important, because yes, I have the things, but to maintain it, I have to make sure that I'm not overworking myself.
Okay.
That's one of the main things, like, because if I overwork myself, I'm not effective anywhere. Like, I can't be an effective friend, I can't be an effective colleague, or, you know, therapist, or anything, you know, just even for myself, I can't be my best self. So I hope that makes sense. That's good.
No, that makes sense. I felt that, because that's how I feel too. I'm very hard on myself, like, very hard.
You're human, like, relax.
Yeah, like, you be forget, but that's also how we was programmed too, though. Like, we was programmed to have it all figured out. We was programmed to, everything has to be, it's like, we were programmed to have like a future all the time, to be prepared. And it's like, I feel like, you know, that can create a controlling part, or just, and it's good to have drive. But I love that you said balance, because definitely keep your drive. Like, that shit will push you. Like, you have to make something happen. But at the same time, it's just like, you know, yeah, like certain things, and that's why we're talking about self, certain things is like, control what you can control. Right. And it's like, once you try to, for me, even like, once I would try to control what I can't control, or something outside of myself, that's where it clashes, because it's
wait, what you said, the easiest things to love about myself?
Yes. Yeah.
I just, despite everything that I've been through in my life, I still feel like I have joy, and like I can light up a room, I can light my life up. Like, I'm not defined by like my circumstances or my pain, and that's one of the easiest things to love about myself, because it's so natural, but it's so just me being my natural self. I feel like that's the easiest thing to love about myself. When I am trying to do anything outside of who I am authentically, I feel like I lose, you know? So the more that I love myself, I feel like I love myself more. That's why it's the easiest thing to love, my whole entire self. My bad days, my good days, like, it's
your journey.
It's my journey. Like, I can still wake up, start over, be joyous, be kind. Like, it doesn't change me or define me. And I think that's amazing.
That's beautiful. I love that. Yes. Now, for me, the hardest thing to love about myself is
I'm like, dang, that's a good question.
I would say for me, my overthinking. I think that's the hardest thing, because, and I was gonna say my drive, but I love my drive. I wouldn't change that. But my mind, like, can go from fucking 0 to like 10,000, like, in a minute. And I feel like the way I think about things, the way I process things, it could be too much for me sometimes. Like, I'll just be like, oh, like, it kind of can create a indecisiveness or a need to control a thought. Like, I will have a thought after a thought, and it's like, and it's because I have such a curious mind, so that's the positive about it, but it can also, I could be in my head a lot. So that's one thing I'm really try to like, that's why talking is like therapy for me. That's why I'm doing this podcast. Like, that's why I'm in therapy. If you go to therapy, shout out to you. There's nothing wrong with it. There's nothing wrong with it.
It really does just allow you to talk in a safe space. Like,
all you doing is talking, right? You talking to somebody that's out, that's staring at your life.
Our job as therapists, like when people think about therapy, they're like, oh, I'm not gonna let anybody tell me what to do in my life. Our job is not to fix things. It's not to tell you what to do. It's literally to help you find out what tools work for you so that you can make your own decisions. So
yes,
I think
it's like, yeah,
like
it's like, yeah, organize it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Mm-hmm. And you about to go into that, so yeah, that's
safe space for people to share, like, and I offer individual services, but at the same time, it's just a community where people can just be themselves. You have a safe space to make mistakes and learn from them and impact others and be impacted by the others. So I think that's
yes. We need that in the world, because the world is hard enough. Like, the world is hard enough. So safe spaces, man, like, we need them. We need a lot more, especially because of how like the world is fucking crazy. Like, the world is crazy. If you are about the world, like, and that's why I'm also spiritual. But yeah, and you are too. So we here with it. But the easiest thing to love about myself, I'm gonna say my purity. Like, I feel like I have this, like, I don't know, like my love is pure. Like, I never, for the most part, I can't even be like I have ill intentions to nobody. Like, I really don't have no hate in my heart. Like, if anything, I could get tight though. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I can get in my feelings or whatever, but it don't last too long. Like, I always get back to that, like, that love in me. Like, I can never just stay and, just stay too far, like, just angry and nah. Like, and that's why I love humor too. Like, I love the purity of myself. Like, that's very easy for me to love. Like, I be having myself beat. I be joking around. You feel me? Like, I would say,
I'm not going to lie to you, y'all.
I be laughing at myself every day. Like, yo, you really a dummy. Like, you a dummy. Like, oh my gosh, I cannot. All right. So my third question is, what does holding yourself accountable look like? Because we got a little bit into it, but how do you do it?
Holding yourself accountable. How do you do that? How can I explain that?
What does that look like?
It looks like it looks like evaluating a situation and understanding that there are outside factors that play into how something turned out or how something is turning out. But the other side of that is you play a part as well. So there are always things that you can do better. There's always spaces where you can reflect. There's always, because we're not perfect, right? So holding yourself accountable is not necessarily taking the blame for everything. And be careful with that, because people in that situation. That's not taking accountability. Accountability is understanding that this is a situation that I was too involved in. Whether you physically were involved in it, whether you were emotionally involved in it, it affected you in some type of way. So instead of blaming, instead of blaming or giving credit, I can say, good or bad, to the situation or the person or the environment, look at yourself and see how did you play in that? Why are your feelings hurt, or why are you in a great place? So accountability doesn't always have to be bad. Accountability can be good too. So even if it's a bad situation, you can say, it's a bad situation, but I'm proud of myself because I saw it through. okay, it was a good situation, but I probably could have did this better, you know, so next time take accountability for that and do better. So that's all it is. Accountability is just when you know better, you do better. That's it.
I love, very simple, very 1, 2, 3. Yes. I would say, yeah, like I agree. And I feel like accountability for me, like, it's that, like I said, I will be hard on myself. And now, even just now, I'm learning how to talk to myself in a nice way. Be like, okay, you know, we made a mistake. We're gonna do better. Like, I will beat myself up, okay? I will be in the room, boom, boom. Why you do that, dummy? Like, no, for real. Like, I will be over there jacking myself up in the corner, and it's like, girl, you only got you. Like, what do you only got you? Like, so I'm definitely learning how to, like you said, we're human. Like, we're gonna make mistakes. I just made a mistake just now. Like, we make mistakes. Like, everything is not gonna be. What you said?
That was a good one.
Yeah, like, we gonna make mistakes, and it's okay. Like you said, we're human. Like, and it's just so much to unpack, because like, we were born, like, the system, this world, they will fuck around, make you feel like you're a fucking machine. Like, even down to school, like, come on, bro. Like, we're graded, everything is labeled, everything is like, and that's why. But that's why a lot of people don't feel safe being themselves, because they're so fucking programmed. And I'm a professor, or I'm this, I'm that. Like, we become, and that's why we're gonna get into the ego and spirituality, because that plays a lot into it, yo. The world will play with your ego, like, and it's all about what you can get, who you are to other people, but who are you to yourself? Like, who are you to yourself? And yeah.
Deep.
Listen.
That's a good point that you make. We are programmed, right? So I think for me, because I'm in school, right? So I'm learning how to be a more effective therapist, and just a person, right? So what you said, we are programmed, and a lot of times I am quick to tell people, like, oh, come self-reflect, come be self-aware, come be a better version of yourself. And it's probably the hardest decision you'll ever make in your life. So you bringing back to my, you know, the front of my mind, that my consciousness, that people are programmed, right? And it's very hard to unlearn, to relearn, and even some people don't even have it in them. People who have been through so much in their life that they don't even have it in them, and they just good where they at, right?
Woo!
So thank you for bringing that up.
Damn. Now, that was deep, because I feel the same way. And that's why I said, like, safe spaces are so crucial in this world, because a lot of people don't have a safe space. So that's the fucked up part about it. Like, some people, they don't know, like, they don't know how to be self-aware. They don't know, like, nobody taught them. And it's like, you know, that's honestly where God comes in, you know. Like, sometimes it happens that it's no perfect time to become self-aware. I feel like as long as you try to do it, like, you could be fucking, you know, like, of course you would want to start it early, but for some people, like, even if you're like 50 or you're 30, like, you can always start. It's not an age thing, it's a life thing. Like, just start when you can. Like, don't fight it, because the longer you fight it, like, you're gonna have to do it regardless. That's how I feel. And that's why the relationship with yourself is important. And that's why I said we could do bad seeds. Like, that could be an example of a bad seed. Like, you're growing things that are not true to you, or you're growing things that's true to you. And, you know, even for me, like, I definitely, like, you know, we talk about trauma and things like that. So that also plays a lot into it. Like, you can be in toxic environments or dealt with toxic people, and you have also good seeds and bad seeds. I feel like we all do. And to dig it up and to realize it, like, that takes a lot of patience. That takes a lot of just reprogramming yourself. So
the hard process is crucial, and that's why I created a safe space first.
Y'all go follow. I'm gonna put your information.
I'm gonna put this on BSA page too.
Yes, ma'am. I am a member. I am a member. I very much am.
Yeah. So, yeah, I think it's important to have a safe space, for yourself first, and like a little bit about my safe space, right? Because I said a lot about BSA, but I didn't say how I created my safe space when I started to like be on my self-aware journey and planting my seeds and uprooting the weeds and just like really in the mud, right? So I was in a room, right? I had a room last year, and when I first moved in there, the room was blank, like nothing on the walls. So it was like I looked at the walls as a clean slate. The time that I was in this room and these blank walls as a canvas to heal myself. So remember, so it started off blank. So what I started to do was write a younger letter to myself on a paper, right? Hang it up on the wall. So that's step one. And I would read that every morning because it was healing my inner child. And then I would write another paper with affirmations, put it on the wall. Draw pictures, put it on the wall. Everything to help me break free, and things that can remind me of the journey and how far I've come, but also how far I have to go.
Yes.
At the end of that, my rooms were filled with beautiful art, with pain, with ripped papers. It wasn't perfect, but I broke out of that room. So when I did end up moving, it was, some things I kept and some things I threw away, but it helped me to weed out who I am versus who I was programmed and conditioned.
That's beautiful.
Kind of did a bid for myself,
As you should. As in for yourself, like.
I'm still. It's not a destination. I don't want to, misguide anybody. It is an ongoing process, but that's how I began my process. Like,
and it's healing. It's healing, yo. Like that's my biggest thing that I just literally learned like yesterday. Like, we be on the phone all the time, and healing is every day, yo. It's a choice to like, let me.
It's like every second of every day.
Every second. No, for real. Like, you just like, it's just like, and like you said though earlier too, like you was like, we're tested, right? And if you're spiritual, you're gonna be fucking tested all the time. Like, I really be looking at God like, hold on, like, this you, God? Like,
whoa. To be close, like, okay, whoop, whoop, like, okay.
Little Kim, like,
whoa.
Nah, we play too much, but not for real. Like, yo, you will get tested, like, not only by people, by your circumstances, by your thoughts. Like, shit is against you.
You know why? Because when you think about it, you said, I can use your journey if you don't mind. As an example, like you said, at 20, you decided to self-reflect, right? Now, your tests are to help you build new habits, right? And I just learned this. So I used to just think like, yo, I'm gonna just keep being tested. Like, I can't. Like, but the tests only come when you're building new habits.
Woo!
But after a while, once the habit is built, you won't look at it like a test. It'll be your new lifestyle.
Damn! Hold on. I'm about to have a motherfucking. Can I have a bomb on here? Like, boom! Cause wow. That's some shit. Yo, I love what you just said because that's me currently, like making new fucking habits. And you know, I love what you said though, because you know you getting tested, you know you making new habits when even your mind would fuck with you sometimes. Like, are you sure this is right? Are you no, this is what we're doing. Like, what you mean? This is the new way. Like, let's get it. Like, let's get it. Let's get it. Wow. New habits, yo. But that's really hard to break for some people. That goes back.
When you think about it, right? How else you gonna build new habits? We're talking about breaking. Listen, we're talking about. I'm sorry, because I could really, you know how I feel about this shit. But we're talking about programming from, let's say, emerging adults, right, around our ages, in the 20s, between 20 and 30, right? You're unlearning 20, 30 years of some stuff that might not even be you. Even if you're 18, even if you're 15, whatever age you left the house, you're unlearning everything that you've been raised up on. Not everything necessarily, but you do have to redefine because you're going from surviving to living. You're going from being to being an adult. So there is change, and the only thing that is consistent is change. Whether you want to change slightly or intentionally or not, you're going to change. So I think what else would help you build new habits other than the test of your mind, your heart, your physical being? If not, you will stay complacent. You will stay comfortable because there's nothing pushing you into a new direction. You're fighting against years, or if you're really up there in the, vibrating and up there in the spiritual realm, generations of patterns and of living and ways of thinking and environments and financial brackets and mental health. You're fighting against all of that. What else would help you get to redefine that truth other than your test?
Yo, for real. And it's like everybody, I feel like what's so fascinating about humans, we all have a fucking story. Like, you never know what someone went through. Like, and that's amazing to me. Like, just how we start off like so innocent as children, and then it's like the world will really weigh on you. And that's why I said it be a choice sometimes, because it's like you can either, like you said, stay in survival mode or get into your true self. What does that look like? Are you comfortable with that? Are you ready for that? Do you want to do what's necessary to break habits? And these are real conversations you'll have with yourself. Like that's where I'm at right now. Like, I am having those real conversations with myself now. Like, yo, what are we here for? Like, what can I do better? But what do I appreciate? What's some old habits that I'm breaking? Like, how do I feel about certain things too? Like, even just checking in with yourself. And that's why I love journaling, because I be writing out so much shit. And also I do poetry, y'all. So I do poetry. I got this little page for myself, because it's just, I feel like that page for me is just, it's all my thoughts, it's my feelings, it's just, I feel like that page is really who I am, because I feel like social media could be so surface level, but that's why I love following like people that do poetry, or they have something to say. Like, we're not just our appearance, like we're not just you look good, okay, what else, you know what I mean? Like, we all have a conscience, we all, whether you tap in or not, okay,
or not.
But me and you, we telling them like, yo, you can tap in at any moment. Like, trust and believe, and that's why I'm doing this podcast.
Power. It's your own power. It's your own decision. You're not defined other than and your decisions and your choices is what defines your character. So, when you know better, you do better.
But that's why we can have like an identity crisis though, because everything from everybody else becomes our identity. Like, that's the programming. Like, okay, this if I make this amount of money, that's me. If I drive this car, that's me. If I like post this, that's me. Like, it comes to a time where you're like, yo, who am I? Like, who am I doing this for? Like, am I doing this for me or am I doing this for fucking Erica? Or like, it's just like, who gives a fuck about these people? Like, who cares? Like, and we're all, and I feel like once you understand we're all human, bro, like, that's why I don't look up to like even the president, people in higher powers. I don't look up to them because why, they're human. Like, I'm not, when they make a mistake, when they fuck up, I'm not surprised by it because they're human beings. Like, it's the most dangerous thing. Even parents, you cannot always look up to your parents. Definitely respect them, respect who they are, you know what I mean, and how they move. But listen, we are all like, everybody fucks up. Everybody, like, so I think when you know that, it makes your life easier for yourself. You like, oh, if they could fuck up, I could.
I think a lot of times we feel like we're so separate from the rest of the world, and like I said, the only thing that really defines us is our choices.
Yes.
And using our time wisely. That's it. So we see, like our neighbor, pain is universal, happiness is universal. So a lot of things that are universal that we tend to feel like we're exempt from that, and we're not, good or bad. We're just not. So you can do everything right,
and life still happens.
Takes the shit out of you, and you can do everything wrong, and God still have mercy on you. So defined by your choices and what you do with your time.
Yeah, and it's like, even what you said though, like, the only thing that's consistent is change. Woo!
That's the only thing that's consistent.
Damn. Let me tell you, because that's why I said 20 is when I became self-aware, because I would...
Everybody think about it in their own way, but no matter how you think about it, if you really sit and think about it, the only that is consistent is change. That's it. Sit and think about it. Follow BSA, leave a comment, whatever you want to do, but think about it, because that's the only thing consistent. How we want things to last so long, we experience things. That's it. Short, long, but things change. You change, like your mind changes, and you have a right to change your mind, to change your heart, to change for the better or to change for the worse. Either way,
it's a choice, baby. It's a choice. But it could be fun things too, though. Like for me, like even with food, like I'm eating fucking onions and shit. I'm eating fucking mushrooms. Like a bitch ain't like no motherfucking mushrooms. Like you feel I'm really more open-minded now. I'm over here like, let me try that. It could be very fun. Which is
I'm definitely open to just more lighter energy, right?
Yeah.
Like